The following presentation was recorded live for CALLERLAB's 20th Annual Convention. This is tape number 23, Showmanship.
Because we don't have a speaker up here, so we can't tell. So if it's loud, we're going to go and get started, although we're going to continue to set up some equipment as we go along. Amplifier works right now. Okay. For the tape, this is Improving the Dance Experience, number 6, Showmanship. Look at you, I'm sorry. As everybody knows, we, as callers, are entertainers. Consequently, one of our tools of our trade is the use of showmanship. And, you know, you do pretty good work, Jerry. Pretty good work. We have a very capable staff up here this afternoon. From Rochester, Minnesota, we have Jerry Murray, who is retired from IBM. Poor guy. And now calling full-time. He's been a member of CALLERLAB since 1975. He records on Blue Ribbon, and he's the former Rural Area Committee Chairman. Nice hand for Jerry Murray. From Mesa, Arizona, and somewhere in Minnesota, part-time, recording on Royal Records. He's on the Board of Governors and Vice Chairman of the Full-Time Callers Committee. Been calling for about 90 years. He's quite a bit older than the rest of the staff. Nice hand for Randy Dougherty. In the center is the small guy. Been calling for, 20 years? 22 years. Chairman of no committee. He and I both own Royal Records. He's been calling full-time forever. And living in McAllen, Texas, formerly from Fairfield, Iowa. Nice hand for Jerry Story. We're going to do some demos, so we're going to be asking some of you guys to help us get a square. The quicker we can get a square, the quicker we'll get all the stuff going, and I don't think these guys are going to embarrass you too badly. We're going to try to allow ourselves an extra 15 or 20 minutes at the end for questions. So, and we'll use a microphone. So if you have a question, I'm going to ask you to come up to the front and use one of the microphones that we have up here to ask a question. That way we have it on the tape. Go. All right, we're going to start today with Jerry Murray.
Good afternoon. Well, as Tony said, we're going to have some fun this afternoon. These are always fun sessions to do. Showmanship, fun thing. It's something you all know about and do because you are showmen, you are entertainers. Your dancers may not see you as, or you may not see yourself as an entertainer, but your dancers see you as an entertainer in today's square dancing. So you should try to increase your skills with showmanship and entertainment in any way that you can. The tools that you use, of course, are terms that you've heard many times before, things like body language, your music, and these gentlemen are going to talk a little bit more about that later. Your judgment, big factor. Your creative and innovative skills, and I'm going to dwell on that quite a bit because I think that's key to putting on a program, not only of choreography, but your showmanship, creativity as well, and your enthusiasm. And you know how important that is. It's key. It's the number one, as far as I'm concerned, in presenting a program to entertain dancers, is your enthusiasm and how it generates enthusiasm coming back to you. There are lots of things you can do, of course, with your voice, and as you're well aware, you can do things like imitations, imitate your favorite country singer or whoever you want to imitate. And there are some people that are very good at that. The key point of that is you don't have to be necessarily perfect. If you can sound a little bit like Willie Nelson, wear a wig, look like him, chances are you'll sound a little more like him if you just do this, pose, something like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but you can get the message out there. I seen a gentleman that's up on the stage here do Elvis Presley one night, and he thought it was perfect. But people can identify with those things. There's some things that you can do with other callers, and I know most of you have probably worked with other callers before, and you can play off in each other and harmonizing. All of that's part of your showmanship program. Little things like if you have special skills or talents, don't hide those. Like, I can't do this, but I know callers that can. They can whistle like a bird, sound like a mockingbird, sound like any kind of bird they want. I can't do that. But I have a good friend caller that can do that very well, but he never uses it on the microphone. He never takes advantage of the skill that he's got doing that. And I've often said, why don't you do that? I was influenced in my calling by a man by the name of Dick Jones, and he could do those kinds of, he could do a lot of things. But he could do that, and he did Bye Bye Birdie, and he'd whistle, and that's super. And little things like crying, to a sad song. Take advantage of those things, whispering to a love song, yodeling, or maybe rap. Rap. I've heard some people do a good job with rap. The age of the group that we work with don't understand necessarily what that is. I'm not sure I do, but it's just one of those things. Props are a big thing that I'd like to talk about a little bit here, too. And this goes along, folks, with your innovative skills. Be innovative. Think of something on your own that you can do with a piece of music. Don't necessarily copy the Tonys or the Randys or the Jerrys, but you could perhaps pick up something from those gentlemen and take off on it and add to it or subtract from it or whatever. But do something on your own. Find something that you can do. A good example of that might be a little thing here. I don't know. Maybe some of you have done this. This is called a kazoo. It costs 35 cents. Very expensive. They don't always stay in tune though up in the cold country. But, this one's almost wore out. But I did a lot of square dance calling in England several years ago, and I lived over there for a year. And I started using a kazoo to a thing called San Antonio Stroll. It was a ranch house, if I can recall. But I used it and got a good response from it. So every once in a while, there's a piece of music that comes along where you might use that. And again, any of these things, folks, can be overdone. So you have to be real careful. You have to be real careful with that. There are little things along the line of gimmicks, like that kazoo, for example. And maybe it's a sound effect that you can use with a microphone, like a popping sound or something, a train, running horses or whatever, And that's not a perfect horse, but to those dancers out there, yeah, they'll look around, gee whiz, that's neat. And I got an example of that right here, just to put that on there, what I do with a little thing called cowboy on hi-hat. Am I doing this one? Circle up at night, he rides the range. Allemande left your corner, do, side, do, and go. Left Allemande, and then you weave around that ring, and you can put it in there too if you want. Sound like a horse. I don't do a real good horse, but to the dancers, that's what I'm trying to convey to them. And you thought it was a good horse, didn't you? Yeah, all right. This is a super piece of music that ESP put out recently, a thing called Ain't She Sweet? And this is kind of a tune that a Dixieland flavor. I'm going to use a kazoo on this thing here. Got to be careful. A little bit of that goes a long ways, believe me. But that's just something you might do. Pretty good kazoo. Yeah. You can get those things to sound like whatever you want them to sound like. With their ideas here. Props. Train whistle. I've got all kinds of things that I carry with me, but I like to do train songs. Of course, I'm going to use the whip. I'm sure most of you have done these kinds of things. Yeah. Oh, you want to hear my train whistle? Yeah. Right. Okay. There's a little record that was out a few years ago. This is a Christmas song, so you got to get in the Christmas mood. But I have some fun with this. I wish the record producers would produce more things like this, kind of gimmickry kind of things. It's a thing on what's the name of that? On Magic called Jingle Bells. And there's a little chipmunk sound on this thing. Okay, and I use a hand puppet. Now, this wasn't my idea, it was my daughter's. She was listening to me practice this one day, and she said, "Dad, you need one of these." And she had a little hand puppet. So I just used a little hand. This is the Cookie Monster, right? Cookie, cookie, cookie. And there's a little thing on, little guy on here. People think I'm a ventriloquist. Gonna help me on this one, Charlie? Huh? Gonna help me? Four ladies promenade inside around that ring. When you get back home and swing, hey, everybody swing. Join hands and make a ring. You circle around that town. Then Alabama left that corner. Girl, grandma didn't let them go. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Swing and whirl your on that you promenade the ring. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on the red open sleigh. Yeah, that's fun. The dancers get a kick out of it. If I'm calling a Christmas dancer and there's little children in the hall or something, I'll get them to come up and be kind of close and kind of play off on that a little bit too. You have to be careful with that one though, because the figure is unfortunately rather difficult on that call, and you have to do the figure because Charlie does the figure once. So he does the figure. He does the figure. So, but I've learned how to override Charlie. I can outshout him. So, but I did that a little bit different there. I would normally go through this maybe a couple times without harmonizing. As soon as you harmonize with him, obviously you're not ventriloquizing anymore, right? But at first, though, people think I'm actually doing the ventriloquy. And I've got some people that think I am even after I harmonize with it. So that was Jim Lee back there. He said no. So some other examples here. This is an example of something you might do with an English type of approach. And again, you don't have to be all that great at this. You just get the idea out and maybe put something that you. Hey, you walk around your corner, see some on your bone. You circle left the girlie by your side. Hey, now the men stop at the right. Go walking around the ring. You alley me lift your corner, then weave around the ring and say, hello, hello. Ah, who's your little girl? Swing the baby around and promenade. Sorry about that, you folks from England. Yeah. Hey, oh's your lady friend. That's done by an English caller, by the way. That's an idea of something that just little thing that you come up with that. No, I obviously stole that from the English caller, that one. So that's not an innovative thing that I've done. Oh, I got one here. I'm not going to do this. Rainbow Connection. ESP just come out with a new Rainbow Connection, I understand. But I recently worked a dance with my son, and he had that record, and he did a really good job of Kermit the Frog. I hadn't thought of it. And here's this kid comes in, calls the dance, and does Kermit the Frog and brought the house down. You know? I thought, oh man, I don't do a good Kermit, do I, Miss Piggy? So, but anyway, they did a good job on that day with Froghead and a few things like that. So, the music remote works. What do you use that for? Okay. The other thing that we'll talk about, and I'm sure these gentlemen will get into this too, is a thing like the mood level. You're setting the mood level, of course, with your music, and you just use your talents and your skills. Let the theme. I like to get my dancers involved with what it is I'm doing. If it's a country song, and country music is a big thing right now, I like to get them involved with the song. Anybody remember when this song was recorded? Who was the original artist that recorded this music? Or maybe I know who it was, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But I like to involve my people. That's showmanship. That's part of the showmanship idea. Is your presentation. I don't want to take too much time here, Tony. But this is just an example of just a love song. Circle out. Pardon me if I'm sentimental. When we kiss goodnight, don't be angry with me. Should I cry? Elemental left and weak. You can get emotional. But I'll love you, dear, until the day I die. Now, there are times, I don't know how many of you use remote microphones these days, but a lot of us do. Fun, good too. Just want to say one word about remote microphones. It is on. I have a good time with the remote microphone, but I don't know about those of you. Do you guys use remotes at all? Yeah? Randy? Okay. I just want to say one thing about with your showmanship. I've seen callers that wander around the floor and that kind of thing, and I do that myself, but be careful with that because you can invade people's space real easy. Okay, I don't know if any of you have noticed that or not, but be careful when you use remote microphones. Don't overdo it. It does allow you more freedom. You can boogie around and do the, what is it, Michael Jackson does, the moonwalk or whatever. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I can do it, but I'm not going to do it here, Tony, because you could probably do it real well. But, and I don't do all that good. But this does allow you a lot more freedom to do this. What's going on behind me? But be careful. That's all I want to say about that. Be careful when you use a remote mic. Don't overdo it. Don't stay out there too long. Don't invade people's space. I have a good time with a lot of times on a sing-along like this last one I did. I might sing to some specific person out there on the floor or something like that, but and get them to sing along. They're promenading and get the words to come along that they're singing. Stick the mic over in their mouth and they're shocked. Say, what? And stuff like that. Little things like that you can do. All right. Another little idea here. This is a song that just recently recorded on hi-hat. Sorry, I don't have any Royal records in there. Now, this is a song where, I'm sure you all do this, where you want dancer response. You want them to sing along. This is a perfect example of what I would do, and this is all part of your showmanship idea here, too. This is a thing called Young at Heart, and everybody recognizes this song. Or just about everybody. Circle out. Fairy tales come true, it can happen to you if you're young at heart. Allemande left your corner, do, side, do, and go, and they left Allemande and weave the ring. If you could survive to 105, swing this girl, promenade 'em along. Now here's the best part, you got a head start if you are among the very... I think they're going to sleep, right? Okay, one more thing, and I'll turn it over to you gentlemen here. Well, I'm not really going on that stuff. I should be. Maybe I should go by my notes, huh? It's a good idea, yeah. Good stuff in here. You notice that? Yeah. One of the key things that I like to talk about is creativity, and I did already mention that. But what you can create with the song. This is the influence that I think Dick Jones laid on some of us, and I know Tony was one of those, is that find something that you can do. Don't necessarily copy anybody else on it, but find something that you can do. And this is one of those things that I think that I thought up on my own. If I can find the record in here. You find the record, Tony. It's a thing called right here. And put that on for me. I use a little bit of a prop here with my old hat and cane thing, okay? Cheap stuff. Cheap stuff. Yeah, put it on the card. Yeah, right. I'll just go anyway. Circle out. Ah, hello, my honey. Hello, my baby, hello, my ragtime gal. You Elemental left that corner, then do, side do. I wouldn't have this on yet, by the way. Elemental left and weave, because I'm going to put it on in the middle break. But I'm not going to go to that far. Swing that, yeah, okay. You can come, I'd put this on in the middle break. I'm going to have it laying on my table or someplace underneath. I want to build this stuff. I don't want to get into it right away, otherwise, because this can be distracting. Where are we? Swing this girl, promenade. Ah, hello, my honey. Hello, my baby. Hello, my ragtime gal. I'll do a little thing like that. Yeah. Hey, if you refuse me, you're gonna lose me. Swing this girl and promenade. Honey, telephone and tell me you're my own. Hello, hello, hello. Just a little thing. Big deal, right? But little thing that I thought of myself that kind of is fun. But these things can be distracting, especially like the little hand puppet and that kind of thing. It can be real distracting, so you have to build it up and do it into the grand square where it really doesn't matter all that much if somebody gets a little off, you know. There's extra beats there for them anyway, right? That's okay, Tony. That's all I got here, and I'll turn it over to you. Thank you.
All righty, thank you, Jerry. I had news for you in that moonwalk. Our next presenter from Mesa, Arizona. Nice hand for Randy Dougherty, and I think he's going to cover. I don't know, what are you going to cover? Patter with Showmanship. This is different.
I thought it was going to be different too, because I wasn't sure how I was going to do anything, and no, it's not my size, I don't think. But I want to say it's an honor to be here and be on a staff and a panel like this. When they first asked me about doing showmanship involving patter, I thought, yeah, I'll do that. That's 6 months from now. And then this morning I thought, what am I going to do? And I thought, you ready? Anyway, I thought to do showmanship you really need to use the tools that you have in your toolbox, which is timing, tempo, music, your voice, your choreography, and a lot of this Jerry's touched on. And to have good showmanship, of course, you want to try to use good tempo. But to get my point across, I kind of go the reverse a lot. I do the bad part of it. We know that tempo should be 126, 128, but sometimes on a Sunday morning type weekend, I'll start off with maybe my tempo at 19 or 20, and I'll say, bow to your partner, corner down two, join your hands and circle to the left. Circle to the left and around you go. You do an Alamana left with your left hand, partner right, and a right and left grand. That's Mesa dancing. Some people think that's how slow we go down in Mesa. But you can overdo that kind of thing. You don't do it on a regular basis, and that's why it's kind of nice to be on the road, because you're in a different town, and you can't do it in the same hometown all the time. It gets old, of course. But with timing, we know that certain calls take certain number of beats. These are my Ray Charles glasses, in case you're not sure. Head square through 4. Are you done yet? Do-si-do. Swing through. And of course, this is good timing, right? So you use your timing, and sometimes you do want to clip timing to get the feeling or the end result. We're always saying, don't clip time. Well, Dick Jones was one of the greatest ones to know when to do it and when not to do it. He could create the enthusiasm. Another thing about using another tool in your toolbox is the voice. Sometimes in Arizona, I have a crowd that's out there and they're going through what I'm calling, but I don't get a lot of reaction from them. So I try to solicit a reaction. If I say square through 3 and if you make it, let's celebrate, I tell them, and they'll usually respond. They usually will make noise. Or if I have the opposite type thing, I'm calling and they're out there and they're going through everything, but they're like asleep on me. I'll say, well, if that's the way, I'll say some comment like, oh, we're really alert today, or we're really excited today, and I'll start calling like this. Head square through 4. Meet your corner, do-si-do. Swing through. Boys run. Bend the line. Whoopee whoopee. And they get the idea. They get the idea that, oh, maybe we should try to wake up. Whoopee whoopees in accordingly, yes. But I do solicit dancer feedback. I like to hear them making noise out there. Lots of times if I get lost, and sometimes I pretend to get lost, and I try to put nervousness in my voice like you can hear right now today, and I'll say, is that your corner? And of course, I'll make sure that it isn't, and I'll do some more figuring and do some more calling, and then I'll say, is this your corner? And of course, they'll say no, and pretty soon I'll get them looking at the same sex, and I'll say, is that your corner? And you get a response. But this is something I stole from Dave Lightly one time. I don't think he was lost, but he knew exactly who had who for a corner, and he set him up for a square through 3, which would bend to the corner, and he said, those in the center, touch a quarter, make a right-hand star, and find your own damn corner. But you have to be careful where you use that. You don't go to the Bible Belt and say that. It took me one tour, and I haven't been back since. Another thing that I like to use in the toolbox is music, of course, and with patter, put it on the very tail end of this. This is Q-Bam on K-Lox. And I have them calling, and I've, again, researched this. Head square through 4. Meet the corner, do-si-do. Swing through, and when you're done, boy, the gunner, runner, man, a girl. Bend the line, whoop to the middle, and you come on back. Right or left through, turn the girl. We'll pass through, and you bend that line. Walk up to the middle, and you come on back. And I star through, and I pass through and trade by. And I touch quarter, and then scoot back. And then the boy run around a girl. And walk up to the middle, and you come on back. Is the music too loud? Do that kind of thing. Now, staying with music, this is Penny on Chaparral. I don't have any Royal records. You don't send them to me. But this is a song, this particular pattern I would use either for a hot hash tip or perhaps trying to get the crowd lifted up. Because this is one that's got kind of that upbeat type feeling. And leave off a lot of do-si-dos and leave off a lot of forward and backs. And you can make it sound like they're going at a pretty good pace when really you're not. You still got the same old tempo, but you leave off some of that forward and back and do-si-dos. This is an upbeat piece of music that I would use. It's Penny on Chaparral. This next one is, I use both sides of this. In fact, I have 2 copies of it. A Sting record, or Snow record. This is what version? Flake. This is Flake. Again, this is a record that I would use to start a dance with because it's got good upbeat lift. Hey, they're gonna bite your partner, corner down 2, circle to the left, go around and go. Hey, ladies, center, men's sachet, circle to the left. I'll try to get a dancer reaction by saying, fluff 'em, girls, ladies in the men's sachet. That kind of a thing. But that's upbeat type thing. But you can flip that over. The other side is snow, and I use this as just kind of the middle of the road type thing. If I'm workshopping, it's just background music. Real nice for workshopping, for me. No, I wore out one, that's why I got this one. That is on snow. Honey, that was not that. That was a Royal record he gave you. Okay. As far as choreography goes, could I get a square up quickly, please? I need one square. Right up here to the right. My right. I need a biological square. Okay. Here's the heads. Okay. I'm not necessarily going to put any music on, but I want to show you about some of the... Putting choreography is one of the best toolboxes that you have as far as doing showmanship, I feel, within patter. Let's have the heads just go into the middle, turn and face the corner, and touch a quarter, and the girls run. Depending on the competence of the group you're working with, lots of times I try to get away with this. Do a right and a left through. Girls, courtesy turn the guy. Roll him away. Take his wallet. There's little things like that. Pass through. Do a wheel and deal. Girls only, zoom. Step two, a wave. Side ladies trade. You know, they know what's going on. Okay? I really don't know if that's legal to call or not, but they did it, okay? Extend. Swing through. Spin the top. Head ladies trade. And usually, now these guys are good, but usually the head ladies will trade with this other lady on this side or something like that. And then by the time they got it figured out, you have to give them extra reaction time, of course, to get it done. But you can usually get a response from the dancers, okay? Let's just have you square your sets, because I didn't check out. Yeah, it's my job. Right hand star, find your own damn corner. Let's have the heads. For instance, I'll do some work with chains. I just usually pick a call and do some work with chains. Head ladies chain. Side ladies chain to your left. That's a tool that nobody uses anymore. Okay? The new head ladies chain. Side ladies chain to your right. And they're back home. So you can play with those chains, okay? Heads lead to the right and veer to the left and bend the line. Do a right and a left through, and the two in girls diagonally chain. And it's something that they're not going to hear all the time. Work up to doing some chains. My philosophy at the plus level is the boys should be able to do a chain if we have them on the other side. Let's do a half sachet. That was a good rollaway. Okay. Now, if we say head boys chain, they're on the girl's position. They're supposed to use the right hand. Okay? Boys chain. Okay? Roll him away. Take his wallet again. Okay? Now here I'm thinking, if I'm going to be featuring this as a workshop tip, I might do the two boys chain from here, which is the mirror image, which means they're going to use the left hand. Good luck, boys. Two boys chain. Good luck, girls. It's a wrong way courtesy turn, but they end up normal. Okay? But I pick a call. Sometimes it might be the promenade call. Promenade is one of the toughest calls we got. I won't do it with this group, but you could. Okay? Everybody wrong way promenade. They're good. They're good. Head gent and a girl with you. Wheel around. You're a side gent. Okay. Pass through. Wheel and deal. Center star through. Pass through. Wrong way promenade a quarter, and the others veer left and bend the line, and everybody's back home. The wrong way, Mr. Sparks. Come on over here. So you can use choreography as a tool to do some showmanship type things. And, of course, you let them make a fall. You let them take a trip. But you make it successful in the end, okay? Let's have the heads roll away. Circle to the left, everybody. I want the boys to stop at the side of the set. Boys, down the middle, pass through. Boys, promenade a quarter. And just what JR said, when I'm doing chains, I do a lot of the chain to the right, chain to the left, chain to the right, chain to the left. You get them thinking that, and then you say, head ladies chain. And they look at you like, which way? Okay? Girls, square through two. Girls, wrong way, promenade a quarter. Very good. Boys, square through two. Boys, single file, wrong way, promenade a quarter, don't face in. Girls, left touch a quarter. Boys, circulate. Swing her and tell her she's a humdinger. Give a nice hand to the square, would you? You want them to stay up here, Jerry? Or are you're gonna do some other stuff? Yeah, we'll give these guys a rest. But use choreography, and of course, each caller sometimes is hesitant to try to do something that somebody else has already done. I guarantee you, I'm going to go out and buy a kazoo. You're getting the puppet. I already did the puppet. Everybody researches or steals from somebody else, and you just don't let them know whose it is that you've got. And before you know it, everybody will be doing Small World, sounding like Jerry's story, right? But you don't pick something like that can be labeled, that's Jerry's record, or I wouldn't do something that can be labeled onto somebody else. You pick little bits and pieces, change it around to fit your personality, to fit your caller attributes. Pardon? No, I don't yodel, but I taught Dee Dee to yodel. A lot of people don't believe that, but I did. I taught her to yodel. I gave her so many tapes of other callers yodeling that it helped. Is that right? Anyway, what I'm saying is to use tools in your toolbox that you already got. And maybe sometimes when they say timing is going to be this way, maybe you want to change the timing from perfect to get a reaction. Maybe the tempo needs to be changed around. Maybe you want to play that record at 78 and do an element of lip with your left hand, a partner right and around a left grand. Whatever. You'll get a reaction. That is a little bit of showmanship. Thank you.
Nice job, Randy. Any of you that are interested, Dee Dee, Darty, and I have started a new business now. If you own a fax machine, we will be teaching yodeling via the fax machine. We're a correspondence course. Oh, well, I'll tell you what. It's normally a moderator's job is you get up and you kind of, when the guys finish talking, you kind of get up and re-say what they said, or if you think they left anything out. I can't think of anything to say for these guys so far. Nice hand from Mission, Texas, Jerry Story.
Thank you very much. Well, the first thing I'd like to say is good callers don't need whistles and sunglasses. Somebody had to say it. Come on. No, seriously, I think it's wonderful. Larry Lutson's not here, and he's one of the best at stuff like that. And Jerry had a lot of great ideas. I know a lot of you out there are like me. I'm just not comfortable doing a lot of that stuff, so I choose not to do it. But what I do is I like to think along the line of programming each tip that I do. And within that, I think you've got a lot of creativeness that can come out and a lot of showmanship that can come out. What we're going to do today, I'm going to go through an outline for you of just one tip. We talked yesterday in one of the meetings about programming a dance. We're going to refine that a little bit today and talk about programming a tip. And basically we're talking about the second tip of the night here. When I want to create a tool for myself to use the rest of the night at my dance, the second tip of the night is very important to me. And that's the tip that I choose to go after that tool, whatever it might be. And that's going to depend on judgment a lot. You've got to assess the floor, age group, what level is it, what do you think they can handle, what country you're calling in. Makes a big difference as to what you're going to do that second tip to give you a tool that you can use for the rest of the night. The second tip of the night, if you want to go through this outline with me and jot it down, and it'll give you something to keep anyway, because I don't think we have any handouts at all. At least I don't. The second tip, we're gonna letter this tip A, B, C, D, E, and F. So basically, it's going to have 6 parts to it. The tip. You don't want to do real long tips, so you got to figure that you got to get in this thing that you want to do and teach them it. If it's something real hard, I personally don't like to use experimentals. I just don't use them. Quarterly selections, I don't know why. I just don't use them. I like to pick calls that they already know, put more emphasis on that call, and feature that and use it for a tool. Have a purpose for using it. Under A on the second tip, you're going to open up and you're going to dance them a little bit and see what you think they can do. You're going to come back with your second sequence, which we'll call letter B if you want to, or 2, however you're going to write it down. And I like to, at that point right there, throw them a little curveball. We're going to go in and investigate just what I mean by curveballs in a little bit. And there's all kinds of them, depending on the situation again. Then C, you're going to figure that you're going to lose some of them on this curveball. Letter C, I want to come back then and help the people that didn't make it. If everybody made it, that's even better. I hope for that. Then I can go on and find a better curveball to use. So C, you're going to come back and you're going to help the ones that didn't make it. D, the fourth thing, you're going to dance them now. You're going to dance them through that curveball, whatever that was. E, you're going to bank on when you did go to full tempo on them and you're not waiting on them and helping them anymore. On letter D, you're still going to lose a couple. I like to go back and help them one more time, maybe go through it just a little bit slower, and let everybody win. And then F, of course, is my last sequence, and I'm going to take them home and then do a singing call. We're going to go through this, and we're going to take each, maybe 2 or 3 different, we'll create some hypothetical situations and go through this outline again with a square, and we'll insert some curveballs. So I need a square. We can...
Anybody out there not callers?
All right, we got them. Thank you. Okay, let's say that it's the second tip of the night. I've already called one tip and just danced them around, kind of know what I think they can handle. Maybe it's a plus floor that's not real strong. Maybe I want to workshop a mainstream call for them. I maybe would pick the recycle with maybe the girl on the end of the wave. And let's just check them out and throw that curveball at them and see how it works. With this fine group, I'm sure I'm not going to have any problem with that. The heads, why don't you pair off for me, would you? All right. Swing through. And here comes my first curveball, just to see if they can do it. Recycle. And see if anybody stumbles. At a mainstream dance, I'm sure they would. And even at a plus dance, I'm sure they would. I'm not too sure about what they wouldn't at an A1 dance. I'm not sure. All right. But at this point, then, I find out. Half the floor made it, half the floor didn't. So I want to get out real quick now. I want to get out so I can go back and show the people that didn't make it so they can get in on the fun too. Everybody do a left square through 3. And you can do a right and left grand from here or something, but you don't have to do that. Okay? Square your sets. So I'm going to come back now and I'm going to help the people that didn't make it. This would be letter C on your outline. Help them with the curveball. Heads pair off again. Swing through. Now let's take a look at that recycle. Girls, there's a boy once removed from you in your ocean wave. I want you to run down there and look him in the eyeball. He's the one facing the same way you are. Say hi to him when you get there. Great. Now, boys, take a half a step backwards for me, guys. Had you done the call, guys, that's where you'd have ended up, okay? All you're going to do is follow that girl around 360 degrees to come back right here where you're standing now. Step forward, make the wave. Girls, you know where you're going now. You're just doing a cross fold. Boys, you're going to go with her. You're going to fold out behind her and follow her to come around 360 degrees. Ready? Recycle. Follow that girl, guys. Come on around. Make sure you look at a new girl. There she is. There she is. Right there. You got it. Perfect. Now, I might want to do that a couple of times to reinforce it, because the ultimate now is when I get to D, I want everybody to dance it. So you're going to do it a few more times. Maybe you want a different get out or something from here. Everybody touch a quarter. Boys roll. Everybody do your part of a split circulate twice. And the girls roll. And everybody pass the ocean. Recycle. And the centers slide through and the centers roll and the outside star through and you ought to be home, okay? Let's go back now. We got to realize that what we're going to do now is go back and dance them through the... That was very good, guys. We'd be on D now. We'd be coming to the D sequence of the tip. I want to go back and I want to call the recycle, just like that, and have everybody dance it. And after that, if anybody breaks down, if they don't break down, I'm home free. I might even show them something else. But it depends. Like I say, it's judgment. If a few people don't make it, then we go to letter E. We quickly go back and do it one more time, a little slower. Make sure that they get it. And then, of course, F, you take them home, you dance them out, and the tip is over. Let's say that we're back to the beginning now, and we've got a different floor. Maybe it's a little bit better floor, a plus floor. We want to look at something a little bit different. Let's pick a different call. Let's have the heads pair off again. Touch a quarter. Follow your neighbor. Linear cycle. Now, there's nothing wrong with that choreography at all. It flows good if everybody does their part right, but it'll catch the floor off guard. That might be a curveball. Here again, depends on how strong your floor is. If they got that one, no problem, then you can expand on the theory too. But right now, we just threw them the curveball, okay? So what we want to do now is go back and pick up the ones that didn't make it. Do a right and left through. Dixie style. Boys trade. And now we're going to go back and try to pick them up, those that didn't make it. We're going to tell them, girls, lean forward, look behind this guy. That's the way you're going, down that wave, girls. Boys, you've got to flip out there and go with her, so follow that girl to your left now. Ready? Linear cycle. Take him to the other side, girls. Get him over there. Good. Roll away with a half sachet. Alaman left your corner. And square your sets. Simply amazing, guys. Give them a hand. Good job. From here, you'd want to dance that thing now. You've helped them with it. You've showed it to them. They want to dance it a few times now. So you go ahead and dance them through some left-hand linear cycles. If they get it real good, if you're throwing them a curveball and they got it real good, always think about coming back and throwing them a curveball that curves the other way. Might be the same thing, only that it curves the other way. And that might give you enough for a whole tip there. All right, let's do one more. Let's have the heads pair off. Swing through. Girls circulate, boys trade. Boys run around a girl, bend the line. Pass the ocean. Girl run around a guy, tag the line, and face in. Now we're getting these progressively harder, and like I say, this one that we're about to do, the only place I really use it is at higher level dances in America and in Europe and Sweden. You can use it probably at a mainstream floor. They really get after the definitions and they know them. Everybody do your part, split circulate once and a half. Twice. Square your set. Heads pair off. Swing through. Girls circulate, boy trade. Boy run around a girl. Bend the line, This is where we're starting from on this thing. It's a 1P, 2P line, past the ocean, and the girl run around the guy, and everybody tag the line and face into the middle. Now, number one, if they don't make this one and you do want to come back and help them with it, I'm not sure I'd call it too many places here in America, but first thing you want them to realize is that the first split circulate once and a half was nothing more than a pass the ocean. Is all it was. So everybody pass the ocean. That would be a split circulate once and a half. Now in your ocean waves, look at each box of 4. Everybody split circulate once and a half, and you've got a diamond. Flip the diamond, grand right and left. Nice hand, good job. Yeah, that's it. Other curveballs, flipping the diamond to a left-hand wave is not hard. You want to do a lot of these things to where they come out normal. You noticed when we did the left-handed linear cycle, I didn't do it with the boy on the end of the wave. That makes it double hard. I do that left-hand linear cycle with the girl on the end of the wave, so they come around the bend and they got normal lines. Heads pair off again. Another good one, I think, is left-handed, flipping to a left-handed wave. Step to a wave. Boy run around a girl, and the boys hinge. Now, you can work them around, to wherever, but if you get them in this point, I like to flip it here because I can get the girls in the middle then to trade and then run and bend the line so I'm back normal. Anytime I'm out of, the norm, which I think left-hand diamonds are probably out of the norm, I want to get them back to the norm as soon as I can. But you have to help them. But I would call it. I don't know. You can help them first if you want. I always like to call it, and then if they don't make it, go back and pick them up and get everybody to do it. They get a little feeling of accomplishment there. Flip the diamond. Girls, you flip in. Boys go out. Chain down the line. Girls trade. Boys courtesy turner. And if they don't make it again, what do we go back to the outline? And number C, we go back and help them with that curveball. Then afterwards, we just come back and dance it a few times. And then if we feel they got it, you're in good shape. Let's have everybody pass through, wheel and deal. I got one more that I wasn't going to do this. But there's been so much talk on taking out calls and dropping calls, and I just don't know if I'm for all that or not. But a lot of the calls that they want to take out, the only reason they want to take them out is because of the lack of usage. It's the only reason. And don't think that the stuff that I'm telling you, I'm just standing up here saying it either, because I call this stuff. Instead of at a weekend on Saturday afternoon, workshop and relay the wingding, I show them this stuff, and I think they like it. I really think the dancers love it. At least I'm successful with it anyway. I don't know why the rest of the world can't be successful with showing them this stuff. Instead of relay your wingding and quarterly selections, and let's don't get into that. Cross trail through is a great call. People just don't know how to use it. Centers cross trail through. Everybody cross trail through. Centers cross trail through. Everybody track to. Very good. Explode the wave. Wheel and deal. The centers cross trail through. Everybody cross trail through. And the centers cross trail through. And everybody partner trade. And the centers star through. And give them a nice hand. And ladies and gentlemen, we've just talked about a few calls. There's all kinds of them. I really mean that. There's just endless numbers of calls that you can select to workshop within the structure of what we got. I don't think it makes any difference what we got on the list. I think it makes a lot of difference if we use it. And I really appreciate y'all's time. Thank you.
Very nice. I was impressed on the cross trail through. She cut you off one time? One thing you guys have got to be aware of when you watch this stuff, before you go home and try this stuff, be sure that you do this at home first before you do it in front of like real live people. I can vouch for all of these guys, having worked with them at one time or another, that what they say is true. We as a group need to realize that some of the things that we say is true. And when we raise our hand and vote on things, that it's true. So be aware before you all start clapping on cross trail through. Because I call cross trail through. But I'm a minority. But that's not. Well, Jerry calls cross trail through. That's a moonwalk. Anyway. But the logic, the premise behind that is that the reason that Jerry chose cross trail through is that it is not used very often. Consequently, a showmanship tool is to show the dancers something that they already know that they don't know. Sure.
It seems real funny. I think it's wonderful. I've been around the country for the last 2 or 3, 4 years teaching every weekend the basics to plus people, to advance people. Seems funny to me that those calls are the ones that they're enjoying and everybody wants to do away with them. I say make them quarterly selections.
You want to make sure that you theme that whole tip, though. I mean, you want to build that thing. Don't just throw in that crazy little recycle or whatever it is. You're going to theme that tip. You're going to build it and let them win.
Well, yeah, that's. Like you say, it's a tool. All of these things are tools. The least used calls that you pick, the cross trail throughs, the fan the tops, at the plus level, the peel offs or the crossfires, the calls that are less frequently used than the others. Feature those, but he's right. You can't rear back call cold turkey some of this stuff and expect dancer success. As Randy said earlier, sometimes you want the dancers to stumble a little bit, as long as it's funny. Don't make them stumble and make it look bad on yourself. Make them stumble. It's a joke. Perhaps it's a joke on you. If there's ever a joke to fall on the floor, the tool to use is to make egg on your face, not on the dancer's face, because these guys, the dancers, are the ones that have to win, no matter what you're doing. With that in mind, do we have any questions? Perhaps this square would if you have questions, we're going to ask that you come up here and use the microphone. And if we got a staff like this up here, somebody should have some questions for these guys. Surely, somebody. This is on tape, guys.
Nobody wants to learn how to yodel by fax?
That's a new business, and that's going to cost you money. No. The question was am I going to do anything? And I've done something. That's not a question. I'm the moderator, and I'll be
moonwalk.
I'll be teaching moonwalking after this, but it's not included in your package. And you must have a badge. No badge, no moonwalking, no exceptions.
You know, along that line of dancing and that kind of thing, with these remote mics now, it does allow us more freedom, and you've got some space to work, and you don't have to interfere with the dancers necessarily. But achy breaky heart is a big singing call everybody uses. If you know how to do the line dance, you can do achy breaky, or at least parts of it. Don't be too distracting, but you can go off in the little corner there by your equipment there, and you can do achy breaky, and at least the people that aren't dancing will maybe enjoy watching that. I enjoy dance. I do a lot of movement on the stage anyway, and I enjoy doing that.
But you really do moonwalk?
I'm not gonna demonstrate.
No questions. Well, with that in mind, then, could we have a nice hand for our staff? Jerry Story, Jerry Murray, Randy Dougherty. I think all the guys are going to stick around for a little bit afterwards, should you want to just go by and talk to them about anything. So with that in mind, we'll leave a couple of minutes early. Oh, before you all go, because I don't know if anybody's done this, I don't know if you guys are aware that Hilton Audio Products brings all of this equipment down for us, and at a moment's notice, like today, when we run down there and say, Dick Henschel, I need an amplifier and stuff. What about a nice hand for all the guys at Hilton Audio for supplying us with this stuff? We appreciate it. Now you can go.